When welcoming the new female CEO who was parachuted into the company, my colleagues secretly joked with me, "I heard the new CEO has an amazing figure. I wonder if her personality is just as soft and gentle." Just as I was about to reply, I saw the person stepping out of the elevator, surrounded right in the center.
Why is it her?
Damn it, why is my luck so rotten? The heiress parachuted in to be the CEO is actually my ex-girlfriend from 4 years ago. She walked straight into the CEO's office. The three of us looked at each other and resignedly followed behind her.
Xu Anan is tall.
Looking incredibly elegant and noble. Only, I know that this woman has a side no one else knows about. I'm Shu Anan. From now on, I will be taking over as the CEO of Chinen Group, working together in the future. I only have one requirement. Don't try to be a smartass and overstep your bounds. Understood, President Shu. Introduce yourselves.
You go first.
Hello, President Shu.
My name is Chao Chen. My daily responsibilities are to handle the CEO's entire schedule, including business trips. Hello, President Shu. Im Fang Zhang. Half an hour later, the three of us left the CEO's office. I was completely out of it, like I'd lost my soul.
Yay, Junhao called out to me a few times.
Before I snapped out of it. Ah, Chen. Ah, Chen. I've been calling you. What are you thinking about? Ah, Chen. What's wrong with you? I'm fine.
What were you guys saying?
We were saying that the eldest Miss Shu is drop-dead gorgeous. With a figure like that, it's a waste she's not a model. That face is absolutely flawless from every angle. I wonder if in real life her personality is the complete opposite, like super clingy. Clingy to the point of being a total psycho. Actually,
Chen, what psycho are you talking about?
I didn't catch that. Nothing. Inside the CEO's office, Xu Anan's phone rang. She answered it. Anan, you're back in the country. Yeah, am I not allowed to come back? It's not that you're not allowed. It's just, why did you go to Chenan Group? Do you know Kiao Chen is there too? Chenan? Don't even mention it.
I don't know that name.
Keep playing tough. You don't know that name? Then, what about the violet and little lamb tattoo on your back?
How do you explain that?
Why do I need to explain anything to you? If there's nothing else, I'm hanging up. I have to work. Violets are the flowers. Chen likes, and the little lamb is because Chen is an Aries. In the office, I slumped over my desk, spacing out. Xu Anan. Long time no see. It's been 4 years. She probably has a boyfriend by now, right? No, she's probably already married. Chen, what's up?
What's wrong? Did something happen?
It's nothing. I just stayed up late last night, so I'm a little tired. Did you need me for something? The HR director just sent down a notice saying they don't have a suitable assistant at the moment, so they want to pick one of us to temporarily fill the assistant role. There is a pay raise. So, who among us is going? I'm not going. You guys go? I'm not exactly hurting for cash. Fang Zhang is short on money. He and his girlfriend are planning to buy a marital home soon. But Chen, in terms of capability, you're the most suitable out of the three of us. In the eyes of our old boss, we're practically half an assistant already. President Shu looks a bit fierce. I'm scared. The woman who had just stepped off the stairs suddenly froze. I'm fierce. Kiao Chen is scared of me. Not really, although President Shu looks a bit cold. She doesn't seem fierce. Besides, the boss is so pretty. I wonder if her boyfriend, facing that flawless face, can even control himself.
Chen, why are you suddenly choking? Are you okay?
What boyfriend? It's probably a husband by now.
After all, the boss already had a fiancé 4 years ago. There's no way they aren't married yet. Plus, I've seen her smile at him before. Fang Zhang suddenly ran over and covered his mouth.
Chen, look at this.
The HR director sent us a message. Turns out President Shu also went to the University of Commerce, but the boss studied in the finance department. Looking at her, she was definitely at the level of the campus belle. You went to the same school, didn't you know her?
You said it yourself? She was the campus belle?
With my average-looking face. How could I possibly meet the campus belle? No way. You've already used her, and you still have the nerve to say you couldn't meet her. Chen. On what basis are you calling this face of yours average? It's only the middle of the month, and we've already had to help you finish how many love bento boxes. Isn't that a good thing? Saves you guys from buying lunch? Gee, thanks a lot. Don't mention it. Less than a moment later, everyone stood up in unison. Looking at the woman standing at the stairwell door, I suddenly felt a bit guilty. Why is she here? How long has she been standing there?
Haha, President Shu.
Why did you come down here yourself? If you have any instructions, you could just use the intercom. I came down to take a look at the assistant's office. Xu Anan swept her gaze around the room, her expression softening a bit. HR has probably notified you already. I need a temporary assistant, the resumes of you three, and your work details over the past 2 years. I have already reviewed them thoroughly. Ye Junhao, your work involves dealing with clients quite a bit. Please hand over your tasks to Xiao Chen. Aside from scheduling, the other tasks his currently handling will be taken over by you. Starting tomorrow, Xiao Chen will temporarily take on the role of assistant to the CEO.
Yi Junhao nodded.
And Fang Zheng had no objections either. President Xu am not suited for the position of assistant to the CEO. Junhao used to coordinate with the CEO's assistant more often.
He's a better fit than me.
Are you the CEO or am I the CEO? XUG Annan gave me a couple of looks, then turned around and stepped into the elevator. Psycho. You think being the CEO makes you a big deal? I don't want to go. Oh God, what do I do? Chen, why do you look like you're heading to the guillotine? The benefits are great and you're getting promoted. Aren't you happy? Not happy. I don't want to go. Junhao. Zheng, hurry up and think of a way to help me. Shez, the CEO.
What can we possibly do?
Relax, President Xu probably isn't as demanding. Our old exploitative boss. Going up there is a blessing for you. An hour later, I went up to the CEO's office. Even though I knew there was no longer any possibility between us, hearing her cold tone still made my heart ache. I adjusted my emotions, forced a professional smile onto my lips, and pushed the door open. XU Annan was sitting at her desk, her slender fingers clacking away on the keyboard. She didn't even look up. From the moment I stood outside the glass door, she had already seen that silhouette, a silhouette she could never forget for the rest of her life. President Xu, I've never worked as an assistant before. I feel not satisfied. With the job transfer, no. I just feel. You feel? In what capacity do you get to feel? The smile on my face froze.
That's right. In what capacity?
Shez my boss now. If you don't want to do it, you can go to HR and submit your resignation. This distant demeanor, it's as if the two of us truly don't know each other. Resign. Why should I resign? I worked so hard to climb up. From an intern salary of $6,000 to $18,000 a month, plus a $60,000 year-end bonus. On what grounds should I resign? President Xu, I have a question. May I ask if my salary will change due to this transfer? What is your current monthly salary? $18,000. I maintained the standard smile of a corporate slave. Her fingers tapped lightly on the desk. 18,000, that's a bit much. The smile on my face almost vanished completely. President Xu, what do you mean? I recall that Chennan's HR department has a policy of a 1-month probation period for job transfers. Since it's probation, the salary should be calculated at the probationary rate. I finally understood. She means I'm working as her assistant to the CEO, but my salary has to be cut to a probationary rate. I let out a scoff. Then may I ask, President Xu, what is the probationary salary for an assistant? XU Anon pressed the intercom on her desk. What is the probationary salary for the assistant to the CEO? 12,000. All right, I got it. She hung up the phone, her voice cold and devoid of any warmth. Did you hear that? Does Assistant Chow have any other questions? I took off my employee ID badge. No questions.
I resign.
Just as I turned around to leave, I heard her light, airy voice speak up. If I remember correctly, Assistant Kiao's employment contract was just renewed last year. The work of the assistant to the CEO involves a majority of the company's core documents. If you want to resign, you must give 30 days notice and cooperate with the legal department for an investigation and handover. Otherwise, it will be considered a breach of contract, and you will have to compensate the company with 24 months' salary. Based on Assistant Kiao's current monthly salary, the total is 432,000 yuan. Considering Assistant Chao has worked hard at the company for the past 4 years, let's round it down to 430,000. Remember to transfer it to the company's account before you leave. Compensation. There is no compensation clause in the employment contract. President Xu, do I need to bow 90 degrees to thank you for knocking off 2,000 yuan for me? Other employees don't have it, but you do. I get it now. She's doing this on purpose, deliberately making things difficult for me. The company maliciously demanding compensation from an employee. I can report this to the authorities. XU Anan stood up as if nothing was wrong. Be my guest. I turned my back and walked away. The business world is only so big. Assistant Chow, better prepare yourself for a career change.
Endure. Endure.
I can't endure this anymore.
XU Anan, so what if you push me?
Beg me. I might consider signing your resignation letter.
No way.
I threw my employee ID badge away, forcefully yanked open the glass door, strode into the adjacent assistant's office, and slammed the door shut. I couldn't hold back my emotions any longer. I let you go 4 years ago. What more do you want? What else do you want from me? After venting all the frustration in my heart, I opened my computer, wrote a resignation letter, and emailed it to the HR director. Less than a minute later,
XU Anan already knew.
Rejected. The HR director called me.
Chen, are you planning to resign?
Are you unhappy with the new compensation package? Chen, you've been with the company for 4 years, and your abilities are outstanding. I know a salary of 26,000 for the assistant to the CEO is a bit low, but the quarterly bonuses and year-end bonuses are nothing to scoff at. I was completely bewildered. Director Chen, what do you mean by that? Haven't you checked your email? President Shu just gave you guys in the assistant's office a raise. A total increase of 8,000. I hurriedly opened the unread email from 5 minutes ago. It clearly stated my salary, adjusted starting this month. Turns out, Shu Anan didn't cut my salary at all. Ah, Chen. I'm listening.
Was this President Zeus' idea?
That's right. 2 hours ago, when President Shu mentioned transferring you to be the assistant to the CEO, she brought up the raise in passing after I discussed it with the finance director. I sent the email to you guys. After hanging up, I still felt like I was dreaming. 2 hours ago, that was before she even came down to the assistant's office.
Then why did she deliberately make things difficult for me just now?
The working hours of the assistant to the CEO are entirely dependent on the boss. Only when the boss gets off work can we corporate slaves go home. The pinned WeChat group suddenly pinged. Oh my god, President Shu is my goddess. Finally, no more overtime. Compared to President Shu, that old exploitative boss of ours wasn't even human.
Ah, Chen. Why aren't you popping up?
Is the assistant job that busy? I glanced at my WeChat list and saw the newly created work group, which only had the 3 of us and Shu Anan in it. A few minutes ago, she'd sent a message saying, unless there are special circumstances, you guys don't need to work overtime. Ye Jinhao and Fang Zheng had both replied in the group. I was the only one who hadn't. I'm not busy. I just wasn't looking at my phone. I didn't want to reply to her message in the group. After all, I had just said I wanted to resign. I don't believe she doesn't know about the email I sent to HR. Whatever. I don't care anymore. I'll just be my corporate wage slave, and she can be her boss. Gathering my thoughts, I took the stairs down to the assistant's office. Seeing my shadow pass by, Shu Anan immediately stood up, grabbing her phone and car keys. When the elevator doors opened, the 3 of us saw Shu Anan inside, and for a moment we didn't know if we should get in. Are you guys not taking the elevator? Ye Junhao immediately reacted, pulling one of us in with each hand. We are... Fang Zheng noticed that my mood was a bit down.
Ah, Chen. What's wrong?
The woman standing next to us. A hint of worry also flashed in her eyes. I shook my head. It's nothing. Probably just didn't sleep well. You guys don't need to worry about me. After getting out of the elevator, Ye Junhao nudged my shoulder and teased Assistant Kiao. Your annual salary plus bonuses must be around 3 or 400,000 yuan by now. How can you still not bear to sell this beat-up Wuling and get a new car? Ye Junhao dangled the car keys in his hand. Buying a car now comes with tens of thousands in subsidies, and the company covers another 20%. You'd save so much money. Just get a new one. I smiled and pulled my car keys out of my pocket. The car's still good. Why change it? I need my money for other things. It's rare we get off work early. Want to grab a bite? BBQ, hot pot, or Japanese? I can't. I just moved into a new rental recently, and am still not used to the place. I need to head back early. I didn't dare say I had a dog at home, afraid someone might be eavesdropping. Once I'm done unpacking and cleaning up, you guys can come over to my place for hot pot. XU Annan just stood quietly behind us, watching the few of us get into our cars, before her driver pulled the white Phantom up in front of her. She pulled out her phone and made a call. Find out where Kiao Chen's new rental is.
Xia Zhao on the other end of the line scoffed.
Didn't you say you didn't care? XU Anan didn't reply for a long time. All right, President Shu. Wait for it. 10 minutes. Shu Anan hung up, satisfied. During rush hour traffic, the little electric car skillfully weaved through the sea of vehicles.
XU Ann's driver saw this
and couldn't help but grumble. Who on earth actually likes buying these tiny electric cars? They look fine to me. Once they catch fire, there's nothing left but the frame.
XU Annan rarely chimed in.
Are these cars not safe?
Haha, you tell me?
How safe can a car that costs a few tens of thousands be? You only get airbags in the high-end models. If you rear-end it, President Shu. What did you say? I said, rear-end it. The driver squeezed his eyes shut and slammed hard on the gas pedal. Despite such a crash, the little electric car was completely unscathed. XU Annan seemed unaffected by the collision. Her body didn't even budge, only noticing that the car in front shook violently. Couldn't you go a little easier? What if you hurt him? Innocent President Shu. I really wasn't going fast. I didn't even dare to step hard on the gas. A Rolls-Royce Phantom rear-ending a tiny electric car. The passers-by all started feeling jealous of the electric car driver. As for me, the guy who just got rear-ended, I was still completely clueless. When I first started driving, my skills weren't that great, so I mostly ended up rear-ending other people. But this time, I'm the one who got rear-ended. And it's even... Thinking about this, I glanced at the rear-view mirror. Holy crap, a Rolls-Royce. Oh man, they're not gonna make me pay for it, are they? I'm screwed, I'm so screwed. Say goodbye to my good days. Heaven really wants me dead. Thinking that, I quickly opened WeChat on my phone to check my balance. I took a look. 58,300. That should be enough to cover it, right? This is my entire life savings. Aside from this, I literally don't have a single dime left. Just then, someone knocked on my window. I instantly tensed up. I could even hear my own heart pounding. So I took a deep breath, rolled down the window, and saw an ordinary-looking middle-aged man, hurriedly smiling and saying to me, "I'm so sorry, man. I couldn't brake in time. Could you step out for a sec to check the damage to your car?" Well, cover everything, since he was being so polite about it. It'd be rude of me not to get out. All right. I unbuckled my seatbelt, followed the driver to the back of my car, and when I saw the dented front of the Rolls-Royce, my vision suddenly went dark. I could already picture my miserable future. Are you guys really covering everything? You don't need me to pay for anything? Ah, yes, exactly.
How would you like to handle this?
The eldest miss sitting in the car thought to herself, "I'll just have to buy him a new car. Can't you be a little more understanding? Don't make things difficult for me." I reached out and touched the chipped paint on my rear bumper. Even though my heart was bleeding, I still politely replied, "No need. Your car looks way worse.
You don't have to pay.
I can fix it up myself." Just then, Shu Anan stepped out of the car. The driver stood up straight and respectfully reported to her, "Miss, this gentleman says we don't need to compensate him." Xuann shot him a glare, and the driver instantly shut up. Then she turned to me and said, "I'm so sorry. It's all because my driver was going too fast. We will compensate you." The driver's eyes widened.
My fault?
"Didn't you tell me to ram into him, miss? Why are you pinning this all on me now? Where is the justice in this world?" Hearing that familiar voice, I froze, then blurted out in surprise, "Boss Shu." Xuann gave a cold and said, "Buy a new car yourself and bring the receipt for reimbursement. Or should the company buy one for you? Take your pick. There is no need. My car still runs fine." "I don't need a new one. It's really fine, Boss Shu." Xuann stayed silent for a few seconds. "Come to my office tomorrow morning. If I let Kiao Chen buy the car himself, hell, definitely just buy the exact same model again. Boss Shu, you really don't need to compensate me. It's just a little chipped paint. This car is still very practical to use." Shu Annan let out a soft scoff, then repeated practical. Her attitude completely baffled me. "I'm not wrong. This car is actually very..." Before I could even finish my sentence, Xuann's next move scared the living daylights out of me.
Hey. What are you doing?
I watched as Xuann got into her car and threw it into reverse. I instantly realized what she was about to do, and hurriedly blocked the front of my car, shouting,
Xuann, are you crazy?
"Stop right now. This
guy's got guts.
actually daring to call Boss Shu by her full name." The car window rolled down, and Xuann poked her head out. "Lao Shu, pull him away." Lao Shu didn't dare disobey. "Sir, pardon the offense." With a loud crash, my jaw dropped as I watched my electric car flip over right in front of me. Breaking free from Lao Shu's grip, I confronted her. "Xuann, are you sick in the head?" Got nothing better to do than ram my car. Xuann didn't even spare a glance. Eat the Phantom, which was now a tragic, mangled mess. Only Lao Shu stood to the side, his heart bleeding in agony. "That's a global limited edition. Are all rich people this reckless? That's a Rolls-Royce Phantom." She just smashed it without a second thought. At that moment, Xuann stepped out of the car, walked up to me, and said, "Come to my office tomorrow morning. Show up and get your new car keys." I pretended I didn't hear a word she said, and just took out my phone to call the insurance company. Seeing that I wasn't leaving, Annan leaned against the heavily damaged hood of her car, looking like she was ready to fight me to the bitter end. Lao Shu then walked up to Xuann and carefully asked Boss Shu, "Should we call our insurance?" "Why would we call insurance? You think I can't afford to pay for a junk car?" Lao Shu looked at the smashed front end she was sitting on.
But what about your car?
Xuann looked at me standing by the road, making a call, and snapped, "If it can't be fixed, just scrap it." Lao Shu breathed a sigh of relief. Thank goodness. Thank goodness. Shez not just throwing it away immediately, because it was rush hour. The insurance agent didn't arrive until an hour and a half later. Looking at the flipped Wuling and the Phantom, the insurance agent shakily asked me,
Mister,
"Chow, are you absolutely sure she hit you?
you didn't just flip your own car, did you?
Are you blind? Can't you see what happened here? Cut the crap and just estimate the damages already. Just make her pay for it." I was so furious I had nowhere to vent. "Good for you, Xuann. You really linger like a ghost. Nothing good ever happens when I run into you." After dealing with the accident, I finally remembered that Lightning was still at home. "Please handle the car situation for me. If there are any issues later, just contact me." After giving instructions to the agent, I went back to my car to grab my valuables and bank cards. Then walked up the overpass, Annan watched me walking and weaving through the traffic, let out a sigh, and followed right behind me. Seeing her follow me, I yelled, "Stop following me? Why do you own shares in this road or something? I can't walk here." Hearing that, I just ignored her and kept my head down, walking straight ahead. Luckily, right after getting off the overpass, it was only 2 traffic lights away from my newly rented place. It wasn't too far. Otherwise, I would have died of exhaustion. The apartment I rented was a small condo, 1 bedroom, 1 living room. A couple happened to be subletting it, so I snagged a great deal. Before entering the hallway, I instinctively glanced back. Seeing that she was nowhere in sight, I breathed a sigh of relief. But little did I know, the moment I turned around, the woman hiding in the blind spot stepped out. Xu stood downstairs, timing it perfectly. Seeing which floor lit up, she instantly figured it out. So it's the 8th floor. Chao Chen, don't even think about escaping me. As soon as I unlocked the passcode door, I heard a pitiful whimper. I immediately scooped him up. Lightning. Daddy's home. It's all your mom's.
Wait, no!
It's all that wicked woman's fault. That daddy came home so late. Lightning is a corgi that I got back when Xu Anan and I were still dating. When we broke up, I secretly took him home while Xu Anan wasn't looking. After taking a shower, I planned to take Lightning downstairs for a walk and grab some dinner while I was at it, probably because he had been cooped up inside for too long. Lightning went absolutely wild the moment we got downstairs, running everywhere. Lightning. Slow down. I swear to God. How does this little brat have so much energy? Am I walking you?
Or are you walking me?
When we reached the gate of the residential complex, Xu Anan had just gotten into her driver's car, catching a glimpse of a familiar silhouette in the rearview mirror. She immediately told the driver to stop. The car stopped, and the sight of me jogging while being dragged by a dog fell into Xu Anan's line of sight. She let out an exasperated laugh. Turns out a certain someone didn't just steal my heart. He stole my dog too. On the day they broke up, she had gotten dead drunk at a bar when she got home and found the door slightly ajar, and the dog nowhere to be found. She thought the dog had run out on its own. She even put up a hefty reward to find him, but to no avail. To think it was actually a dog thief.
Oh my god, you little menace.
Can you just stop for a second? You're killing me here. Since I was feeling a bit hungry and wanted to cross the street to buy some wontons, I pulled the little dog close to me and crossed over to the other side. Xu Anan watched the man and his dog walk into the shop before finally telling the driver to drive off. Lightning seemed to sense something and turned his head, barking loudly. I followed his gaze and looked out the door, only to see a black car driving away. I immediately scolded Lightning. What are you barking at? No barking. After finishing my meal, I received a message from the insurance company saying that Xu Anan had expressed her desire to settle with me privately, and they even sent me her phone number. Furthermore, according to the insurance policy, the insurance company had already paid me 55,000 yuan in car compensation. I placed Lightning in his bed next to mine, squatted beside him, and muttered, "Lightning." Daddy ran into her again. She hasn't changed one bit. Still as obnoxious as ever. After talking for a bit, I sat down on the floor and stroked his head. What should I do? Lightning, I tried so hard to stop thinking about her. So why did she have to show up again? She's probably married by now, right? The little dog sensed his owner's emotions and nuzzled against my hand. Lightning. Do you want your real dad or a stepdad? If you want a stepdad, it'll give you back to your real mom. Lightning whimpered a few times. I patted his head again, put him back in his bed, and climbed into my own. I unlocked my phone and switched to an alternate account. There was one person on this account's block list, sharing the same name as someone in my company's work group. She still hadn't changed her WeChat account. Has she been waiting for me all this time? Thinking about this, I somehow foolishly unblocked her. After taking a shower, Xu Anan sat on the sofa in her bathrobe, holding her phone in one hand and a glass of red wine in the other. Didn't he say he didn't love me anymore? Then why did I go and investigate his address? Am I planning to steal the dog back in the middle of the night or get revenge? It was just a breakup. Is it really that deep? Suddenly, Xu Anan asked, when did his mother pass away? I believe it was half a year after you two broke up.
Xu Anan opened WeChat.
Her finger habitually tapping on the pinned chat at the top. The last message in that chat was still from the day she lost her dog 4 years ago. Ah, Chen, do you really not want me anymore? Why doesn't even Lightning want me anymore? She scrolled up through hundreds of messages, not a single one of which had been successfully delivered. Her fingers tapped a few times on the screen, and unexpectedly the message went through. Xu Anan set her wine glass down, wanting to unsend the message, only to realize it was too late to unsend it. So she had no choice but to go into the work group and send a friend request to Chao Chen. She waited a few minutes but received no response.
Fine.
Well played, Ah Chen.
You're really something else? Early the next morning, before my alarm even went off, I was licked awake by the dog.
I'm late.
I'm gonna be late for work.
Lightning. I reached out and pulled the dog into my arms, ruffled his head, and picked up my phone, only to find an unread message. Just as I was about to open it, my grip slipped, and the phone dropped right onto the dog's head. Lightning yelped in pain. I immediately hugged him and gave him a kiss, then picked up my phone to check it again. I saw that the person I had unblocked last night had sent a few words, "You stole my dog." Seeing that, I instantly grabbed the dog's snout. Putting on an exaggerated tone, I said, "Lightning, did you secretly tell your mom that you're staying with me?" "Huh? Spit it out. Have I not treated you well?" With his snout held shut, Lightning looked incredibly wrong. He was the victim here, okay? I didn't reply to her message. I wanted to block her again, but felt like doing so would just make me look guilty. Whatever, I'll just switch back to my other account. After switching accounts, I noticed a new friend request. My instincts told me to hit decline, but on second thought, she was my big boss now. It wouldn't look good if I didn't accept it. Forget it. Forget it. I'll just pretend I didn't see it.
What kind of boss in their right mind
Sends a WeChat friend request to an employee. In the middle of the night anyway. After brushing my teeth and washing my face, I finally remembered that my car had been flipped by that capitalist. So I had no choice but to catch a cab to work. Waiting for a cab during rush hour took over 10 minutes. By the time I ran into the company lobby, I was cutting it incredibly close. Seeing the elevator doors about to close. Hold the door. It's Xiao Chen. I really should have checked my horoscope before leaving the house. Xu Anan was standing right there with the finance director. I froze for a few seconds, caught in a dilemma, but I still had to swallow my pride and step into the elevator. Compared to this awkward situation, I cared way more about my perfect attendance bonus. Finally, I politely greeted them. Good morning, Boss Xu. Good morning, Director Zhang. Little Chen, it's rare to see you cutting it this close to the clock. Because of the message I received this morning, I absolutely did not dare to look at the woman standing next to me. Did she actually know I stole lightning? Or did she just send that to the wrong person? I had no idea. I had to catch a cab, so I'm running a bit late.
A cab? What happened to your electric car?
Someone rammed into it and flipped it.
Who was it? What a terrible driver.
I forced a smile on the outside, but in my head, I was thinking, it's literally the person standing right next to you. But I had to admit, her driving skills really were terrible. At that moment, the elevator stopped at the 16th floor. The finance director waved goodbye to us and stepped out, leaving only me and Xuanan inside. The atmosphere suddenly became incredibly awkward. I kept my eyes glued to the changing numbers on the display.
All the way up to the 30th floor.
The second the doors opened, I bolted out, walking briskly toward the emergency stairwell. The two people having a meeting in the secretary's office didn't even get a chance to say hello before a gust of wind blew past them.
Junhao, was that Xiao Chen just now?
Just as Ye Junhao was about to answer, he saw Boss Xu immediately set down his coffee cup and stood up abruptly. Good morning, Boss Xu. Fang Zhang realized it a second later. Just as he was about to greet her, Xu Anan had already stepped into her private elevator. Then Fang Zheng continued asking curiously, so the reason Qiao Chen was running so fast just now was because he shared an elevator with Boss Xu.
But why was Qiao Chen late?
Hez usually the first one here. I had slipped into my office a split second before her elevator stopped. Xu Anan could still see the reflection of the general manager's assistant's glass door vibrating. The corners of her lips curled up slightly. Coward. Then she thought to herself, Qiao Chen, after all this time, how did you get even more spineless? You got that scared just from sharing an elevator? Do I really look that terrifying? Meanwhile, I hurriedly grabbed my laptop and walked over to the office door next door. Just as I hesitated, reaching out to knock, the door opened and I almost smacked right into Xu Anan's face. She looked at me with a teasing gaze. Boss Xu, time for the meeting. What's wrong? Does Assistant Chow have some sort of grudge against me? I ignored her teasing and just held out my hand. Xu Anan looked at my gesture and let out a soft chuckle. What's this? Asking for money or asking for a car? I'll give you the car keys later. I shot her a glare and walked straight past her. She watched my retreating back and thought to herself, Qiao Chen, you really don't meet the standards of a proper ex-boyfriend. A standard ex-boyfriend should act like he's dead. Yet here you are showing up time and time again. What's the meaning of this? Are you trying to test me in the meeting room? In my capacity as the general manager's assistant, I was in charge of hosting the meeting. As much as I hate to admit it, when Xu Anan is seriously working, she's absolutely captivating. By the time I snapped out of it, everyone in the meeting room had already started leaving. Yi Junhao and Fang Zheng were packing up their laptops and documents, shooting me a good luck buddy look. Just as I closed my laptop and was about to stand up, someone tapped my shoulder. The meeting lasted 2 hours, and Assistant Qiao spent an hour and a half staring at me. What's wrong? Got some ulterior motives regarding me. Feeling guilty, I tried to avoid her gaze, but afraid she'd mock me. I shot back. Stop spouting nonsense.
How do you know I was looking at you?
Could it be that President Xu has some ulterior motives regarding me? Xu Anan let out a chuckle, then changed the subject. Assistant Qiao, did you get the message I sent you yesterday?
No.
Xu Anan exclaimed in mock surprise. That was a fast reply. What's wrong? Is Assistant Qiao feeling guilty? So, what are we going to do about you stealing my dog? Caught red-handed. I had to play dumb. President Xu, you need proof to make such claims. We aren't exactly close. So why accuse me of stealing your dog just because it went missing? Seeing me deny it to the bitter end, her smile grew even deeper. She kept stepping closer to me, and for every step she took, I took one back. Just like that. She backed me into the corner of the meeting room until I had nowhere left to retreat. What exactly do you want? It's a fact that I lost my dog, but I don't recall explicitly saying
That you were the one who stole it? Did I?
Also, not exactly close. Then what I like the most. Assistant Chow should be the one who knows best. And you call this not close?
What President Shu likes the most?
I'm sure your husband knows better. I only know what my girlfriend likes the most. If there's nothing else, please step aside. I still have work to do. Chow Chen, say that one more time. Who do you know best? President Shu, are you already going deaf at such a young age? I know the head of the ENT department.
Eat Zhangcheng Hospital.
I can help you book a specialist appointment. Get the hell out. So I quickly slipped away. She let out a cold snort and returned to her office. Meanwhile, inside the chairman's office, Xia Qiao was lounging on the sofa, playing a game. Push. Damn it. Are you guys sick in the head? If you don't charge now, what the hell are you afraid of? I'm seriously speechless with you guys. What a bunch of psychos. Xia Qiao angrily closed the game and tossed her phone onto the sofa. Looking up, she saw Xu Anan walk in with an expressionless face, slamming the door shut with a loud bang. Walking over, she glanced at Jia Qiao's legs resting on the coffee table, then said in annoyance, "Get your feet off my table." Seeing her friend's frustrated expression, Xia Qiao immediately understood what was going on. She eagerly asked, "Did your precious boy toy piss you off again? If you don't know how to speak, then shut up. That guy means absolutely nothing to me." Ha 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 ha. How did you know who I was talking about? Just admit it, Anan. You're still in love with him, even though you broke up 4 years ago. You still haven't forgotten him.
What do you mean I'm still in love with him?
Are you daydreaming? Xia Qiao? I think you've lost your mind. Xia Qiao wasn't mad. She just lazily leaned back on the sofa and said leisurely, "Let me remind you, not only do you not have a boyfriend, but you even lost your dog. How pitiful." Our great CEO Shu. The hand holding Xu Anan's fountain pen paused. Then she took out her phone and tapped a few times. "I found the dog thief."
Damn, you're good.
Lightning has been missing for 4 years, and you still found him. Did you find the dog or the thief? Hu Anan gritted out every word. "I found both." Then she picked up the desk phone and dialed a number. Meanwhile, I was in the next room organizing the boss' schedule. When the intercom on my desk rang, "Chow Chen, make 2 cups of coffee and bring them over." Me! Look, making coffee isn't exactly my job, is it? Isn't Fang Zeng the one who usually makes coffee? Why ask me? Xu Anan was stunned by my reply. If not you, then me. Cut the crap and get to it. Yes, President Shu, I hurriedly replied. Hearing Xu Anan's tone on the phone, Xia Qiao almost choked on the lollipop in her mouth. Then she gave Xu Anan a thumbs up. Impressive, President Shu. You actually dare to talk to your ex-boyfriend with that kind of tone. I'm his boss. Why shouldn't I use that tone? Anyway, are you that free today? Why haven't you left yet? Xia Qiao was taken aback and retorted, "Didn't you order 2 cups of coffee? I've been here half the day. Don't I deserve a cup of coffee before I leave?"
Is this how the great Miss Shu treats her guests?
Can't I drink 2 cups by myself? What if I just like drinking coffee?
Fine. Fine. Fine.
I'll wait for the day President Shu gets a slap in the face.
Impossible.
You'll never get that chance.
Knock. Knock.
I walked in carrying 2 cups of coffee. Seeing Xia Qiao there, I was a bit surprised and flustered. She saw me and took the initiative to greet me.
Chow Chen, long time no see.
Hello, President Xia.
Xia Qiao flashed a perfect smile and invited. "Are you free? Let me buy you a cup of coffee." I smiled politely and replied, "Of course." President Xia can schedule a time with me after work. The woman sitting at the desk witnessed our little interaction, and her face instantly turned cold. "Assistant Chow, do I need to remind you that you're on the clock?" Hearing Xu Anan's icy voice, laced with a hint of displeasure, I chuckled inwardly. Sure enough, she's just like before. She never allowed me to interact with the opposite sex, getting jealous over the slightest thing. "President Shu, your coffee." As I turned to leave, the woman said coldly, "Did I say you could leave?" Seeing the situation, Xia Qiao laughed and said, I'm leaving. I won't bother you two anymore." Waiting until the office door closed, Xu Anan slowly looked up and asked me, "Assistant Chow, what are the duties of an assistant?" "To coordinate all of the boss work, of course." Xu Anan nodded and didn't make things difficult for me anymore. She lifted her coffee cup and took a sip, then almost spat it right back out. "You did this on purpose, didn't you?" I maintained my polite smile. "President Shu,
You told me to make coffee.
but you didn't specify what kind." "I usually drink instant coffee." Actually, out of the 2 cups, one wasn't instant. I knew her habits, so I deliberately placed the instant one in front of her. I could half-ass it with her, but I wouldn't dare do that to a client.
You, Anan, was speechless.
From now on, even if someone told her it was raining knives, she would absolutely never believe a single word out of Chow Chen's mouth. Jokes aside, I got into work mode and reported today's schedule. Xu Anan hummed in acknowledgement, took a car key out of her bag, placed it on the desk, and told me, "Compensation for your car. There is no need." President Shu.
My car.
Could probably only buy 1 wheel of this thing. The insurance company already covered the damages. Trying to throw money in my face. Like mother. like daughter. They do things exactly the same way. I crashed your car, so it's only natural I compensate you with a new one. You can also choose to take cash.
XU Anan.
Then change the subject. By the way, Assistant Chiao,
Why haven't you added my contact info?
if I have free time and need you for something, what am I supposed to do? Through the internal work group. As soon as I finished speaking, the woman said slowly, "So, are you going to accept my friend request yourself? Or should I tag you in the internal work group to make you accept it?" I immediately took out my phone and pressed accept right in front of her. President Shu, is this okay? Shu, Anan nodded in satisfaction, gave a soft hum, and said, "Get back to work." Yes, President Shu. Then, as if remembering something, she called out after me, "Chao Chen." I had only taken 2 steps. What trick is Shu Anan trying to pull now? Couldn't she just say it all at once? I turned around, flashing a corporate smile. "President Shu, do you have any other instructions? Do you only have one phone number?" My heart skipped a beat. I nodded and replied, "Yes." Only then did Shu Anan impatiently wave her hand, signaling me to leave. She was afraid that if Chao Chen didn't leave soon, she wouldn't be able to hold back the urge to hit him.
4 years.
Why should I be the only one suffering? I refuse to let that happen, Kiao Chen. Are you ready? Since you've barged into my world again, don't even think about escaping. After leaving the chairman's office, I patted my chest, feeling like I had just survived a disaster. I couldn't shake the feeling that Shu Anan today seemed different from her usual self. However, I suddenly remembered that my new place didn't have security cameras installed yet. So I hurriedly went online and ordered 2. During the lunch break, I glanced around, but didn't see Shu Anan in the staff cafeteria. Makes sense? Shez the big boss?
Why would she come to a place like this?
At that moment, Fang Zheng spoke up. "I feel like President Shu is actually really nice. That old Joe Boppy used to nitpick every single day. Unlike President Shu, who just says it like it is."
Oh.
What was it that old Joe Boppy used to say? "If I have to spell everything out for you, then what do I even need a secretary like you for?" While we were talking, Ye Junhao asked me about this morning. "Chao Chen, what happened? Were you being chased by a ghost this morning? Running around in such a panic. Don't even mention it. My car got flipped in a crash after work yesterday. Were you hurt?" I shook my head. I told them what happened last night. Ye Junhao and Fang Zheng looked at each other. There is definitely something fishy going on. Then, with eyes gleaming, they started interrogating me. "Little Chen, confess. Did you and President Shu know each other before? Otherwise, why would she have nothing better to do than flip your car?" I gritted my teeth and replied, "Because she is a psycho, obviously." Ye Junhao's eyes widened in shock, and he frantically looked around. Ye Junhao put down his chopsticks. "Bro, you really dared to say anything. This is the cafeteria. If President Shu happens to hear you, do you have a death wish?" At this moment, Fang Zheng, who had been quiet, suddenly spoke up. "Wait a minute. Don't tell me you two are exes." I had no choice but to nod and admit it. Holy crap. Shez, the ex-girlfriend. You broke up with 4 years ago? I glared at them. Keep your voices down. Is this something to be proud of? Then Fang Zheng asked curiously, "Did President Shu compensate you for the car?"
"Yeah, with a BMW.
"Why wouldn't you accept it? If I had an ex who was both beautiful and rich, I'd gladly date her even after breaking up." I lowered my voice and added, "But the fact that I stole her dog, I think she already knows."
Ye Junhao and Fang
Zheng simultaneously clasped their hands in prayer toward me. "Take care, brother. This dog-stealing business. You absolutely cannot let that wicked woman find out about it. Otherwise, with her methods of dealing with people, she might even call the cops on you." During the lunch break, maybe because Shu Anan was in the office right next to mine, I rested my head on the desk but couldn't fall asleep at all, terrified that if I dozed off, I'd dream about her like I did yesterday. What a nightmare. Before getting off work, I received a message from Shu Anan. "Come to my office." I had just turned off my computer. I picked up my phone from the desk and unlocked it. My face darkened, and I mimicked her tone. "Come to my office." "Are you calling a dog?" I let out a cold, disdainful snort, then headed over to the chairman's office next door. Standing at the door, I took a deep breath and put on a smile. "President Shu, you were looking for me?" Shu Anan was sitting in front of her computer screen. She pointed toward the sofa. I saw a few gift bags placed on the sofa. Shez not telling me to go sit on the sofa and wait, is she? Given how much Shu Anan hates me, I'm lucky she didn't make me kneel and wait. Wait a moment. Taking a 5-minute break. Seeing me still standing there motionless, Shu Anan muted her meeting and told me, "There are clothes on the sofa. Pick a suit and change." Me change. Who else? Hurry up. Don't hold things up. I refused, saying, "President Shu, I think the clothes I'm wearing are perfectly fine. There's no need to change." Shu Anan gave a faint smile and mocked. "Are you planning to wear this cheap office suit to meet a major client with your boss? Cheap. Shuanan is going too far. This is my most expensive suit. Is she sick in the head? Finally, I replied. I think President Zhu's taste in fashion has some issues. Wearing a suit to meet a client is as polite as it gets. Seeing me stubbornly refusing to understand, she chuckled softly, raised an eyebrow, and said playfully, "There are 5 minutes left until the meeting ends. You can hesitate, but if you still haven't picked one in 5 minutes, I wouldn't mind helping you try them on one by one." I took 2 steps back and muttered to her, "You're a psycho." Afraid I wouldn't know where to change, Xu Anan kindly reminded me. "There's a restroom inside. You can go in there to change." I flatly refused. Shu Anan nodded. The moment she stood up, I immediately grabbed the bags and dashed into the lounge. Inside the lounge, I instinctively locked the door to calm my nerves a bit. Before I started observing this lounge that was almost as big as my apartment. Sure enough, it was still Xu Anan's showroom style. It hasn't changed after all these years. I pulled all the suits out of the bags to take a look, and finally chose a dark blue suit that looked the most normal. Just as I finished buttoning up and was about to open the door, my hand suddenly trembled. I misbuttoned my shirt. Exposing a patch of my collarbone, I muttered a curse. "What's the rush? It's like you're rushing to reincarnate." Xu Anan urged, "Open the door. I need to change clothes too." I yelled back in frustration. "I'm changing. I'm almost done. Can't you wait a second?" "I can't wait. We're out of time." After I opened the door, Xu Anan evaluated the blue suit on me. Her expression was completely unreadable, but inwardly she thought, "What's wrong? Is the size wrong?"
Why does he keep covering himself with his hand?
President Shu, ill head out first.
Stop right there.
Hearing her voice, I stood frozen in place. Then Shu Anan, looking impatient, stepped right up to me. I panicked. "President Shu, even though you're my boss, you still can't just..." I could feel her fingers already touching my buttons. Xu Anan looked at me like I was an idiot, shooting me a glare. The next second, she unbuttoned the button near my collarbone, then carefully buttoned it back up properly. All done. My eyes were still a bit hazy. Turns out she just wanted to button my shirt. Xu Anan looked at my reaction, chuckled softly. "Assistant Xiao, are you not leaving because you want to stay and watch your boss change?" I finally snapped out of it, hastily grabbed my changed clothes, and ran for my life. Xu Anan took out from the closet a dark blue evening gown, changed into it, and then recalled the image of herself buttoning Ah Chen's shirt. Chen was very handsome back then too, but the current Ah Chen is even more mature and charming. Shu Anan then let out a bitter laugh. "Stop dreaming?"
Xu Anan.
"You're the woman he dumped." The woman bent down to adjust the hem of her dress, and suddenly saw a shiny metal object on the floor. It was a ring. "It looks like this ring belongs to Ah Chen." Xu Anan casually slipped it into her handbag. As for me, returning to my desk, I suddenly felt like my pinky finger was missing something. Oh, crap.
Where's my ring?
I was definitely wearing it when I left the house this morning. Where the hell did I drop it? When Shu Anan walked out, she saw me squatting on the ground looking for something. She pursed her red lips and asked, "What are you doing?" "I am looking for something." "Boss Shu." I dropped my ring. "Can I go into your lounge?" "To look for it." "Sure. Go look for it yourself." Xu Anan watched my retreating back, thinking angrily to herself, "It's just a ring. Why does it feel like it's even more important than me?" I'm so jealous. The woman habitually helped me organize my things, then grabbed my keys and walked out of the office. Only then did she belatedly realize what she had just done.
Xu Anan, you're really sick.
Has taking care of him become a habit? We've been broken up for so many years. How can I still do these things so naturally? Habits are truly terrifying. When Shu Anan returned to the office, she saw me with my head down, muttering to myself, "How could it be gone? It was definitely here this morning." I saw her walk in, holding my keys in her hand. "Boss Shu, when did you get back?" I reached out to take them. "Thank you." "Oh, by the way, when you were changing earlier, did you happen to see a platinum ring?" Shu Anan looked at me with a puzzled expression. "No, I didn't." "Is that ring very expensive?" I shook my head. "It's not expensive. It's just that the person who gave it to me is very important to me." "Important? Who gave it to you that makes it so important?" "Someone you don't know, but they mean the world to me." A flash of sorrow crossed the woman's eyes, and she stared at me with a resentful gaze. At that moment, I remembered we had a banquet tonight. "Boss Shu, the banquet is about to start. We should get going." Shu Anan nodded and walked out. I followed behind her, thinking to myself, who's going to drive later? Am I supposed to drive Shu Anan's car?
How exactly is this going to work?
The elevator reached the basement parking lot. With a glance, I saw that parked near the elevator doors was a black Mercedes commercial van. The driver saw us coming and immediately opened the back door. Xu Anan got in. I stood there, my mind racing. Where should I sit? Theoretically, I should sit in the back with the boss to easily discuss work, but I didn't want to sit that close to Shu Anan. What a pain. Xu Anan saw me just standing there.
"What are you standing around for? What do you need me to invite you in?"
Hearing this, I immediately opened the passenger door and got in, politely greeting the driver. Hello. Im Chao Chen, boss's new assistant. The driver habitually glanced at the woman in the back seat, unsure if he should reply. Shu Anan felt the driver's gaze, looked up and said, "Just drive."
Why are you looking at me?
Do you need something from me? Seeing no specific instructions from Shu Anan, the driver smiled politely at me and introduced himself. Hello, Assistant Chiao.
Im boss, Zhu's driver.
My name is Song Jia. You can just call me Zhao Song. Hearing that, I asked in confusion, your boss ex-Ju's driver. Then where's the older guy from yesterday? Ixu Anan watched our friendly, familiar expressions. We chatted and let out a cold snort. I didn't realize Chiao Chen was so easy to get along with. In front of me, he's cold and barely speaks. But in front of others, he's so good at striking up a conversation. Looking at this situation, maybe I shouldn't even sit in the back seat anymore. I should just drive the car myself and leave the space for you two to chat comfortably. Oh, that's my uncle. He went to get Boss Zu's car fixed, so he couldn't make it today. Filling in for him. The two of us were chatting away when the woman in the back seat let out a soft sigh and said resentfully, "Are we leaving or what? Or should I get in the front and drive? So you two can move to the back and keep chatting." Xiao Song hurriedly pressed the button to close the doors and replied to Shu Anan, "Sorry, Boss Shu. Boss Shu, please buckle your seatbelt. We're heading out now." The car started moving, and Song Jia and I stopped talking. I started trying to remember where exactly I dropped the ring. Then I opened the secretary group chat and asked Fang Zheng and Jia Hao, but both of them said they hadn't seen it, which left me feeling a bit disappointed. Meanwhile, from Shu Anan's angle, she could perfectly see my phone screen. Xu Anan then coughed lightly to remind me, "Assistant Chow, when you accompanied your boss to meet clients before, did you also play on your phone like this?" I froze for a second, then put my phone away. "Sorry, Boss Shu, I was just replying to a message." After that, I didn't glance at my phone
a single time.
The car finally arrived at the hotel. Xiao Song turned his head and asked Boss Shu, "Do you need me to go inside with you?" I looked at Song Jia in surprise. Xu Anan shook her head and replied, "No need." Xiao Song, go grab something to eat. Just come back here to pick us up in 2 hours. After getting out of the car, I casually exchanged contact info with Song Jia. Seeing my actions, Shu Anan looked at me with displeasure, thinking to herself, Chen, I'm actually getting a little mad.
Why is it that when I try to add you as a friend,
You just ignore it and don't accept. But when it comes to adding other people, you're so proactive. It really breaks my heart. After that, Shu Anan didn't even bother waiting for me and walked straight into the hotel. In the private room, 6 of the partners had already arrived, 2 of whom had brought their boyfriends along.
Ixu Anan scanned the room
and said to everyone, everyone.
Late.
Not late. Not late at all. We're just early. Quick! Pour Boss Shu a glass of wine. The man next to her had just stood up when Shu Anan raised her hand to stop him. No need, President Liu. I brought my own companion. I understood her meaning immediately. Picked up the decanter of red wine on the table and poured half a glass for Shu Anan and myself. A boss like Shu Anan couldn't escape drinking, let alone an assistant like me. Add to that the fact that I lost my ring. I was already in a bad mood, so I wanted to go outside for some fresh air even more. So I whispered in Shu Anan's ear, Boss Shu, I'm going to the restroom for a bit. Shu Anan gave a soft moom. I grabbed my phone, and just as I turned to leave, I heard a vulgar voice ring out. Hey, little lady, why are you here all by yourself? Come over here and have a drink with me. Who knows, if I'm happy, I might just sign a big contract for you. Hearing this, the noisy banquet room suddenly fell dead silent. I quickly turned around, only to see a pot-bellied middle-aged man staring lecherously at Shu Anan. This man was attending this kind of banquet for the first time and had absolutely no idea that the Shu Anan in front of him was the illustrious Boss Shu. He probably thought she was just some CEO's little assistant, which was why he dared to make such a crude, classless remark. Hearing his words, Xu Anan set her wine glass down. With an almost icy calmness, she stared coldly at the man. The air in the room seemed to freeze. The man was chilled to the bone. Shu Anan's gaze, and involuntarily turned his head away, just as Shu Anan parted her red lips. To speak, my voice rang out. Boss Shu, please step outside for a moment. The chairman is looking for you. I said these words extremely clearly and distinctly. Shu Anan turned to look at me in surprise, a hint of a smile flashing in her eyes. Xu Anan caught on immediately. She stood up and said, Everyone, I'm sorry, but I must excuse myself. Then she cast an indifferent glance at the middle-aged man. The middle-aged man's face was now pale as a sheet, cold sweat breaking out on his forehead. He slumped into his chair. I'm dead. I'm so screwed. Of all the people to offend, I just had to offend the famous Boss Shu. As soon as the two of us stepped out the door, Xu Anan's chest was still heaving violently, trying her hardest to hold it in. I saw Shu Anan's fingertips trembling with anger, so I reached out and patted her back to comfort her. She didn't pull away. After a long silence, she finally spoke. her voice slightly strained. Chao Chen, do you have any candy? I nodded, took some out of my pocket, and asked curiously, Boss Shu,
What kind of candy do you want?
I only have mints.
They're not that great.
You talk too much.
Just hand it over. She quickly unwrapped the candy and popped it into her mouth. As the cool minty flavor spread through her mouth, the woman closed her eyes and took a deep breath, seemingly regaining her usual calm and collected demeanor. If it weren't for the fact that this collaboration is very important to Chin An, and I wanted to leave a good impression on the partners, I would have made that man disappear from this industry by now. Annan, why are you here? At that moment, a familiar deep male voice rang out. A man walked up to Shu Anan. Shu. Anan looked at him and replied, I have a banquet with clients. Are you here alone? I'm here having dinner with my godmother.
Annan, do you want to come over and say hi to her?
Xu Anan waved her hand.
No, I'm not going.
I don't want to ruin everyone's mood. After saying that, Xu Anan brushed past him to leave, but the man called out to her.
Annan, it's been so long since you've been home.
Do you really not miss home? Standing to the side, I curiously observed this man.
Isn't this the guy
who went wedding dress shopping with Shu Anan at the mall 4 years ago? No wonder he looked familiar. Listening to their conversation, I took a step back.
What? Why would I go home?
That house doesn't welcome me. Annan, it's been 4 years. Godmother was indeed in the wrong. But Shen Heng, who do you think you are? Who gave you the nerve to meddle in my business? Ignoring Shen Heng's reaction, she walked straight ahead. I hurriedly took a few steps back, afraid of getting caught in the crossfire.
What exactly are these two arguing about?
And why doesn't Shu and An go home? How strange. Thinking about it, I felt I shouldn't stay here long, and that'd be better to wait for Shu and An back in the private room. But when I stood at the door and looked at the scene inside, I felt an indescribable disgust. So I leaned against the wall outside the door and started reminiscing about the times I spent with Shu and An in the past. I remembered her dimples when she smiled, and how adorable she was whenever she acted spoiled. I remembered when we broke up, how Shu and An clung to me with red, teary eyes. And then I remembered the cold, distant demeanor of boss Shu and An. I remember every single side of her so clearly, making it impossible for me to ever forget.
What are you doing standing here?
It's a bit inconvenient to go inside. Xu Anan took a glance into the private room, then said to me, I'll go in and grab your jacket.
You go pay the bill.
Well, meet up in the lobby later. Using the excuse of an emergency meeting, Xu Anan grabbed my jacket and left. After I finished paying the bill, I found a corner to sit and wait for Shu Anan. Just then, I saw over a dozen people walking out together. The woman walking in the middle was Shu Anan's mother, and the man talking to her was the guy known as Shu Anan's fiancé.
Luckily, I was sitting in a blind spot.
So, unless they were looking closely, they wouldn't see me at all. Xu Anan was holding my suit jacket, and as she walked out, she bumped right into her mother.
Annan.
Xu Anan's footsteps halted.
Mom.
So you still know I'm your mother. You return to the country and don't even bother coming home. It's been years, haven't you caused enough trouble? Causing trouble, so in your eyes. These past few years, I've just been causing trouble for fun. Makes sense? You're so used to being a dictator, you never gave a damn about me anyway. I am your mother. Xu Anan. How dare you speak to me like that? If you weren't my mother, do you think I'd just simply not come home? After saying that, ignoring the two of them, she walked straight ahead. Her mother saw the men's suit jacket in her hands and yelled out Shu Anan.
Stop right there.
Which man are you?
Fooling around with now?
And why didn't you even greet Ah Heng when you saw him?
You really have no manners at all. It's none of your business.
Stop meddling.
With that, she left the hotel without even looking back.
Godmother, you know how Annan's temper is?
Please don't be mad at her. Ah Heng. It's her loss that she doesn't appreciate you. No matter what, you are the son-in-law of our Shu family. Waiting until they had all left, I finally stood up from the corner and walked out. Their conversation just now was still echoing in my head. Why did Shu Anan do that? Was it because she wasn't satisfied with the marriage partner her family arranged? But even if she wasn't satisfied, she still married him, didn't she? Her mother clearly just said that Shen Heng guy is the Shu family's son-in-law. Just as I was completely baffled, my phone rang. I saw a familiar number on the screen, so I pressed answer. What are you doing now? Where are you coming right now? In the parking lot, Xu Anan was leaning against the car, holding my jacket in one hand. Her head bowed, her expression inexplicably gloomy. Hearing my footsteps, she finally looked up and asked, Where did you go? Didn't I tell you to wait in the lobby? I casually made up an excuse. I stepped outside to take a call just now. She nodded, then got into the car. Seeing me still standing there, she gave me a weird look. Aren't you getting in? Do you not want to get off work? So I had no choice but to get in. The car left the hotel and merged onto the main road. Xiao Song asked, Boss Shu, are we heading back to the company or taking Kiao Chen home first? Take him home first. Brother Chen, where do you live? Hearing this form of address, Shu Anan frowned and spoke up. Xiao Song, what did you just call him? Brother Chen.
What's wrong?
Boss Shu, Are you two that close? Faced with his boss questioning, Song Jia looked a bit panicked. I live in the Shanshui Jiajun complex right near the company. Do you know the way there?
Yes, I do.
All along the way, Xu Anan kept her eyes closed and didn't say another word. As for me, I was still racking my brain trying to remember where exactly I could have dropped my ring. The company is so huge. If it didn't fall in the office, it's going to be really hard to find. Brother Chen were here. The car stopped in front of the residential area's gate. After getting out of the car, I said goodbye to Xiao Song and Xu Anan. Thanks a lot, Xiao Song. President Xu, I'll be heading out now.
See you tomorrow.
Through the half-rolled-down car window, Xu Anan watched my back as I walked away, before finally instructing Xiao Song, drive. Then she added, go ask around and see if Building 16, 8th floor of this residential area has any available apartments. Renting or buying, either is fine. Get it sorted out within half a month. President Xu, you want to live here? It is close to the company, huh? Is there a problem? No problem at all. It's just, why does it have to be the 8th floor of Building 16? Would another floor not work? Hey, why do you talk so much since coming back to the country? Just do what you're told.
Yes, yes.
Inside the empty villa, Xu Anan sat on the sofa. She took out the ring, dangling it in front of her eyes. It's just a cheap ring. How could anyone even give such a pathetic gift? Even looking at it makes me feel dirty. If Ah Chen saw this ring in the trash, he'd definitely risk his life to fight me. Xu Anan went upstairs to take a shower, then came downstairs to pour a glass of water. She stared at the ring for a moment, then bent down and picked it up out of the trash can, and the moment I stepped into my house, Lightning rushed over, looking aggrieved as he clung to my legs, wagging his tail, and spinning in circles. Exhausted, I hung my coat on the hook by the door, then bent down and pulled Lightning into my arms.
Sorry, buddy.
Dad's home late, I double-checked the food and water I had prepared before leaving for work this morning. Seeing that he had eaten, I finally felt relieved. I sat on the sofa holding my dog without turning on the main lights. There was only a small sensor light in the house, which I had intentionally installed, afraid that Lightning would get scared whenever I came home late. I stroked the dog, the bitter feeling in my heart, unable to be suppressed any longer. I confided in Lightning. Lightning? What should I do? Dad lost the ring that Grandma left for me. I couldn't hold on to Xuanan, and I couldn't even hold on to the ring my mom left behind. Dad is so useless. Lightning seemed to sense my sadness and licked my hand. I was in a terrible mood and could only keep petting Lightning to soothe myself. Lightning, it's a good thing I have you by my side. Otherwise, I wouldn't know how to get through this agonizing longing. After taking a shower, I didn't forget to take Lightning out for a walk. I stopped by the convenience store near the entrance and told the owner, give me a can of lemonade. Just as I was about to scan the code to pay, I stayed silent for a few seconds before adding, give me a peppermint candy too. Thanks, sorry for the trouble. Leaving the store, I put the can in my pocket, wrapped the leash around my wrist, and suddenly remembered when we were still together. Every time she saw me drinking this, Xu Anan would get so curious. Every time we finished arguing, she'd frown, snatch it away to take a sip and say, ugh. This tastes awful. And when I saw her like that, I found her incredibly adorable, unable to resist the urge to kiss her. Chao Chen, you're such a hooligan. I sighed, cutting off my train of thought. Too bad. It's all in the past now. We can never go back to how things used to be. Once home, I took the leash off Lightning's neck. I sat cross-legged on the floor and turned on the TV. My favorite show was playing, but my mind wasn't on it at all today. I rubbed Lightning's head and muttered to myself, Lightning, should Dad find you a stepmom later? The dog seemed to understand, barking woof. Woof. Ate me twice. Turns out you don't like the idea either, huh? Then forget it. Dad won't like anyone else either. The two of us will just rely on each other from now on. Today is Saturday, so I didn't have to go to work. I woke up early to clean the house, then sent my location to the group chat, inviting Ye Junhao and the guys over for hot pot. Consider it a housewarming party to add a little warmth and life to the place. Be a good boy and stay home. Lightning, Dad's going to the market to buy you some good food. There is a market and a mall near the apartment complex. As I walked, I muttered curses under my breath. Xuanan is out of her damn mind, having too much free time on her hands. Why the hell did she have to crash and flip my car? Now, look at this. I have to walk everywhere I go. It's a total pain in the ass. Whatever. Maybe I should just buy another car. With both hands full of groceries, I cursed all the way back home. When I looked up, I saw a woman standing in front of my door. She looked about 30 years old, with a cardboard box by her feet. I froze. Isn't this Meng Yue? What is she doing here? Then I spoke up. Sister Yue, what a rare guest.
What brings you here?
Meng Yue helped take some bags from my hands and said, I went back to our hometown yesterday, and Auntie asked me to bring some things up for you. Since I'm free today, I figured I'd drop them off. I used my fingerprint to unlock the door and told her, come on in. There are disposable slippers in the shoe cabinet. Meng Yue carried the cardboard box inside, opened the shoe cabinet, and saw a pair of women's indoor slippers. She immediately asked, Arant there, Women's slippers right here. Can't I wear these?
Don't touch those.
Lightning will bite you.
Ah,
Sure enough, hearing the noise, Lightning dashed out of the room. Chow Chen, control your dog.
you've had this dog for years.
So why does he still bark at me like this? I've told him so many times I'm his older cousin, not your girlfriend. While putting away groceries in the kitchen, hearing Meng Yue complain, I burst out laughing.
Lightning, come here.
No biting. Be a good boy. Shez's a fitness trainer for crying out loud. Yet Shez's scared of a pet dog. It's honestly hilarious, but I can't really blame her for being scared. 3 years ago when Grandpa passed away, she just gave her little cousin a hug. And this dumb dog bit her so hard, she had to get rabies shots.
What a dumb dog.
When will Lightning finally realize that I'm just Ah Chen's cousin, not his girlfriend?
Ah, Chen. Auntie wants you to go on a blind date.
What do you think? Want me to go in your place? You really have too much free time. Sometimes I wonder if I owed you something. In a past life, my reputation is completely ruined because of you. I don't even have any friends left. People think I'm a lesbian and are afraid ill hit on them. A rant you happily enjoying. Anyway, the doorbell rang. Meng Yue went to open the door, only to see Ye Junhao carrying 2 large bags of food. He grinned and said, Sister Yue, you're here too. Familiar with the place, he kicked off his sneakers, set the food bags down, and ran over to pet the dog. Lightning. Your bro Junhao is here. Did you miss me? Did you miss me?
Haha, you really are something.
Why are you being so polite? Just showing up is enough.
Why did you buy so much food?
There is no way we can finish all this. I can't just show up empty-handed to freeload. I shot him a glare, then asked, Where's Fang Zheng? Why isn't he here yet? He should be here soon, Ye Junhao replied. Then he turned his head and saw Meng Yue, putting his shoes away in the cabinet. He spoke up a bit embarrassed. Ah, Sister Yue. Sorry for the trouble. I shouldn't be making you put my shoes away. It's no big deal. I'm going to the kitchen to wash the veggies.
You two chat?
Ye Junhao's eyes kept following Meng Yue's back. Earth to Junhao. If you like her, go after her. Don't worry. She doesn't have a boyfriend yet.
No way?
Forget it. I'm too insecure. I'm afraid of getting rejected. I looked at him in disbelief.
You insecure.
Junhao, don't make me laugh. Then who's the guy sending me all those random videos every single day? Hearing me say that, Ye Junhao avoided my gaze and looked around. A while later, Fang Zheng arrived with his girlfriend. How can we celebrate a new home without cake? Wishing you sweet and happy days in your new place. Thanks everyone. Hurry up and take a seat. Ha ha ha. So cute. Just as we were about to cut the cake, Ye Junhao took out his phone, demanding a group photo. Come here. Come here. Before we cut the cake, let's take a group picture. 3, 2, 1. A while later, Xuanan, having just finished swimming, checked her phone and saw a screenshot of a WeChat Moments post sent by Jia Chao. Holy crap. That dog thief you mentioned? Don't tell me it's your ex, Ah Chen. This photo looks really nice. You're done for. Your Ah Chen has already found a stepmom for your dog. Xu Anan exited their chat and tapped on my WeChat Moments, but didn't see any posts at all. She checked the accounts of 2 other secretaries and saw the exact same photo Jia Chao had sent her. Xu Anan called her friend. Where did you get this picture? From Cao Chen's WeChat Moments. The call was hung up. Xia Qiao scoffed indignantly.
Fine.
Well done. Chen.
You've got some nerve. Posting on Moments and daring to block me. Stealing my dog is one thing, but you actually dared to take my dog. To take pictures with another woman. Just you wait. Then Xuanan dialed another number. Back at the apartment, Meng Yue finished helping me clean up. Just as she was about to leave, the moment she opened the door, she saw a police officer standing there. She froze. Then Meng Yue asked, Hello, who are you looking for? Hello, does Cao Chen live here?
Hello. Im Cao Chen.
Is there a problem, officer? The police officer showed his badge. We received a report claiming that you stole her dog. We need you to come with us to the police station to give a statement. I was taken away. At that moment, Meng Yue looked at me in absolute shock. Ah, Chen. When did you steal a dog? Why didn't I know about this? Isn't this your own dog? I ignored Yue's words and just said to the officer, Officer, can I ask if the person who filed the report has the last name Xu? Sorry, we cannot disclose the informant's information. I nodded. I understand. Could you wait for me to pack up a bit before I go with you? They nodded. Then Meng Yue stepped forward to negotiate. Officer, my brother has been raising this dog for years. You can't just accuse him of stealing just because someone else lost their dog.
How about you guys go ahead?
And I'll go with him as a witness. Is that okay? Sure. Then bring the dog with you too. After the door closed, Meng Yue asked me, Did your ex-girlfriend call the cops? Looking at the situation, that's probably it. Wait. Haven't you been raising this dog since college? Why would your ex call the cops and say you stole her dog? We raised him together. She was the one who paid for the dog. Meng Yue followed behind me. and asked, so after you two broke up, you took the dog without her knowing. Didn't you hear what they said? I stole the dog. Meng Yue was speechless, only able to comfort me. It's fine. If she wants him, well, give him back. At worst, it'll just buy you another one. I didn't say a word, just held the dog and walked out of the elevator. In the car, I kept staring out the window. Meng Yue asked curiously, "Ah, Chen, are you and your ex still in touch? How should I put this? I guess you could say that."
Oh, come on.
You either are or you aren't. What do you mean, I guess? I really don't understand you, because right now, she's my big boss.
Damn.
So she called the cops just to mess with you. I'd really like to know too.
What kind of crazy fit is Shu Anan throwing this time?
The car pulled up to the curb by the police station. I already saw the woman, standing in front of the station, looking completely different from how she did at the company.
Meng? Yue whispered. Is that her?
She's really pretty. But why is she so vicious?
Yeah, that's her.
Sister Yue, you should head back. I can handle the rest on my own. Ex-Yu Anan didn't know Meng Yue, but she was extremely possessive of me. I was afraid Shu Anan would take issue with Meng Yue, so having her leave first was the best option.
No way.
How can I just ditch you here alone? If my parents found out, they'd definitely chew me out. When I got out of the car, the dog in my arms seemed to sense something and immediately grew restless. A bit annoyed, I scolded him. You haven't even seen her yet and you're already this excited. Lightning! You really have no conscience. You can go home with your mom later. You'll never get to see dad again. When Meng Yue and I showed up, Shu Anan saw us and let out a cold sneer, then walked into the police station. Inside the police station, a lawyer was standing next to Shu Anan. Before I could even speak, Meng Yue's phone rang. After she finished the call, I told her, "Go do your work. I'll just catch a cab back later." Meng Yue didn't want to leave either, but she really was busy and couldn't keep a big client waiting. "All right, call me if anything happens." "Why are you dawdling so much? Hurry up and go." I'm getting impatient. In Shu Anan's eyes, all of this just looked like I was being intimate with another woman. Ah, Chen is actually letting another woman touch him now. I'm really sad, but there's nothing I can do about it right now. Ex-Yu Anan glanced at the lawyer, who then placed a stack of documents in front of me.
Mr.
Chow. This is the receipt from when President Shu bought the dog 6 years ago, along with the certification papers, made before the dog went missing. I rubbed the dog's head, then asked, "What proof do you have that this dog is yours? All dogs of this breed look the same. Does President Shu have any proof?" The bottom of Lightning's front right paw has a burn scar. You can take a look.
Mr.
Chow, we need to check the bottom of the dog's
front right paw.
Resigned, I placed the dog on the table. No need to look. The dog is hers, but I didn't steal him. We were dating at the time. Even though she bought the dog, we raised him together. So me taking him away cannot be considered stealing.
Shu Anan had absolutely no idea
that I had returned to the apartment 4 years ago. At the time, she was drowning in the pain of our breakup, and losing the dog made her obsessively search for him, never once thinking that I would come back. The police officer stayed silent for a moment before finally speaking up.
Mr.
Chow. The dog was purchased by Ms.
X.U.
According to civil law, the dog must be returned to her. I nodded without saying a word. The corners of Shu Anan's lips curled up slightly. She tapped her fingers on the table twice and said, "Lightning, come here. Come to mommy." The dog, who had been running in circles around me, immediately dashed into Shu Anan's arms. "What a heartless, traitorous dog. I raised you for years, and you just abandoned me like that." I stood up and asked, "Excuse me, can I leave now? Please sign here." The woman signaled her lawyer to handle the paperwork. I didn't even spare the dog a single glance, standing up and preparing to leave. Xu Ianan stood up as well, holding the dog, and reached out toward me. "Wait, give my things back." I stopped and turned around, completely baffled.
"What things?
Didn't you just want the dog?" I gave him back. I didn't take anything else. Shu Anan pursed her red lips and said, "The leash and the pendant attached to it. We made those together. Why won't you give them back?" "Can't. I just have a courier send them to you." "Are you really in that much of a rush?" "No need for all that trouble. I'll go with you to get them." She walked right past me with the dog in her arms, leaving me with no choice but to tag along behind her. Once we got outside, I didn't get into her car. Instead, I caught a cab home by myself. When I arrived downstairs at my apartment complex, Shunan was standing blankly by the flower bed, with lightning running in circles around her legs. I walked past her into the lobby to wait for the elevator. Seeing me, Shunan followed me inside. As the elevator went up, neither of us said a word. When we reached my door, just as I was about to scan my fingerprint to unlock it, I heard her ask, "4 years ago when you came back to the apartment, did you want to make up with me?" I froze for a moment, then replied, "You're overthinking it. I just happened to be passing by." Hearing that, she stepped closer, backing me into a corner, and I had no choice but to retreat, until my back hit the door. She looked me dead in the eye and said, "Passing by. Chao Chen, you're as stubborn as ever. You were just passing by, yet you took the elevator upstairs. You were just passing by, yet you conveniently took the dog with you. When you took Lightning away, did you ever think about how sad it'd be? How much it would break my heart? Well, I gave the dog back to you now, didn't I? My feigned calmness made Shu Anan's face flush red with anger. Then, throwing all caution to the wind, she stood on her tiptoes and forcefully kissed me, the moment her warm lips pressed against mine. I wanted to push her away immediately, but a part of me couldn't bear to. Amidst a chaotic swirl of complex emotions, my hands instinctively wrapped around her waist. Taking the lead, I kissed her back. AQZUNN, do you think you're the only one who was sad? The only one whose heart was broken? But since you delivered yourself right to my doorstep today, I won't hold back anymore. A moment later, Shu Anan bit me.
You forced a kiss on me.
I let out an exasperated laugh and shot back. Princess, take a good look. Who exactly started it? Then I pushed Shu Anan away, opened the door, and walked in, without even checking to see if she was still standing outside. I slammed the door shut. Shu Anan stood outside, stunned for a moment, before angrily stomping her foot. Chao Chen, you're such a jerk. I don't like you anymore. Meanwhile, Lightning, who was right beside her, started scratching at the door with his paws. Shu Anan gently rubbed his head, without saying a word. Not long after, the door opened again. I was holding 2 large bags and said to her, everything you need is right here. Food, toys, it's all in there. I know you have the money to buy him new things, but Hez used to these. You can wait until he gets used to your place before swapping them out. Here is the suit you gave me. I had it dry cleaned. Also, President Shu, there's a lot of stuff and it's pretty heavy. You might want to call your driver to help you carry it. You probably can't manage it all by yourself. My voice choked up a little.
What am I even fighting for?
I knew perfectly well the dog was hers, but seeing a Chen so intimate with someone else, it just made me feel so awful inside. So I could only use this method to get his attention, but it seems like I messed up.
You've got your things.
So you can leave now. Don't come to my place again. Just as I was about to close the door, a hand blocked it. With red, teary eyes, Shu Anan asked, Kiao Chen, do you really have to be this calculating with me? Weren't you the one calculating with me first? XU Anan. Everything between us. I've given it all back to you. Now, please leave my house immediately.
Right now?
Chao Chen, I didn't mean it like that. Just listen to me explain. I won't take Lightning back. I'll give him back to you, okay?
XU Anan. Stay away from my house.
I don't want to see you anymore. Hearing those words, XU Anan started punching codes into my door lock, desperately trying to talk to me face to face. She tried one passcode after another, but they all came up as incorrect. Breaking down, she crouched down and hugged Lightning tightly. Tears streamed down her face uncontrollably. If she wanted to let out all the longing and grievances she had bottled up for so long. It wasn't until Shu Anan had calmed down a bit and turned to leave, while I stood by the window looking down, watching her walk away with the dog and the bags, that I finally walked back into the living room. XU Anan suddenly stopped in her tracks and looked up at the 8th floor window for a long time. I opened the front door from the living room and saw that the bag with my suit was still sitting outside. I brought the bag inside, closed the door, and collapsed exhaustedly onto the sofa. From the drawer under the coffee table, I took out a lollipop and popped it into my mouth. A sweet taste instantly spread through my mouth. Meanwhile, Shu Anan got into her car with the dog. Lightning, thrilled to be reunited with his mom after so many days apart, was incredibly excited, completely oblivious to the fact that he had just lost his dad.
What are you so happy about?
Your dad is mad at us. This is all your fault. What is there to be happy about? Wasn't it you who brought this upon yourself? I'm just a handsome, quiet dog. Why blame me? XU Anan took out her phone and texted Kiao Chen.
Chen. I was wrong.
Please don't be mad anymore. I'll leave Lightning at your door and go right away. The moment the message was sent, a red exclamation mark popped up on the screen. XU Anan was stunned. Then she grew even more frustrated. Setting aside the fact that Im is his ex-girlfriend, Im's still his boss for crying out loud. Chao Chen, you've got some serious nerve. How dare you block your own boss? Infuriated by me, XU Anan pinched Lightning's cheeks to vent her anger. She tapped on the pinned WeChat contact at the top, saved under the affectionate nickname Baby.
Chen, sorry.
XU Anan's world felt like it was crashing down. Another red exclamation mark. Xiao Song, looking through the rearview mirror, saw the dog squirming around and his boss looking like she was about to cry. He was completely bewildered. Isn't this the dog from Brother Chen's WeChat moments?
Why is President Shu holding it?
President Shu, did you steal Brother Chen's dog? Shut up. Why do you talk so much? Xiao Song received an unwarranted glare. He was the one who broke up with me, without a single word of explanation. And he was the one who sneaked back into the apartment to take the dog. He was even acting so intimately with another woman, that hateful Kiao Chen. I really do hate him the most. Ever since I returned Lightning at the police station and blocked Shu Anan on WeChat, my house suddenly felt incredibly empty, without that little corgi following me around. I suffered from insomnia for several nights in a row. On Monday, I went to work as usual, holding the schedule report. I walked into the president's office with an expressionless face. President Shu, here's the schedule for this week. If there's nothing else, I'll take my leave. Unblock me later. For work, the group chat is enough for communication. There is no need for private contact. As I turned to leave, her voice echoed behind me. Lightning. We raised him together for 4 years. Can you really just abandon him like that? I didn't stop walking, but an indescribable bitterness welled up inside me. She bought the dog, but for the past 4 years, the one who fed him and kept him company was me. The agony of being forced to break up back then. I couldn't utter a single word about it. It was bad enough that she forcefully took the dog back, but to ask me if I could just abandon him, she really knows how to rub salt in the wound. Walking out the door after work, Meng Yue waved at me. You lost your dog. Let me take you out to cheer you up. No need. Just take me home and help me order a black Wuling. Out of the corner of my eye, I noticed Xu Anan sitting in a Maybach parked by the road, glaring daggers at us. In the blink of an eye, it was Friday. Xu Anan called me into her office. Headquarters needs me to go over there for a week. Here's my current home address. Every day after work. Go over and help me walk the dog. I wanted to refuse out loud, but deep down, I really missed that little guy. Lately, I've been dreaming every night, dreaming of the day we broke up 4 years ago. Back then, I heartlessly told her I didn't love her, but it was all because Madame Shu and Shen Heng forced me to. They held the house, my late parents left me hostage, and used Shu Anan's future to threaten me, forcing me to be the one to walk away. I had no other choice but to agree. Snapping out of my thoughts, I cleared my throat and replied distantly, Understood, President Shu. I'll book your flight right away. After booking the flight and confirming that Shu Anan had taken off, I immediately caught a ride to the Villa District. The moment Butler Wang opened the door, Lightning immediately pounced on me. Circling around my legs, Butler Wang smiled and said, Lightning has been moping around ever since he was brought back.
It's been days.
And this is the first time I've seen him this happy. For 5 consecutive days. I got off work early to come play with him. Every time it happened to be right around dinner, and unable to refuse their hospitality. I ended up eating dinner at the villa before heading home. As dusk fell on Friday, Xu Anan flew back that night. I brought some snacks over, planning to just get the job done. But as soon as I walked in, I saw Shen Heng sitting in the living room, acting like he was the master of the house.
Mr.
Chow, have a seat. Let's talk. Anan over the past 4 years. No need. I'm just following orders to come feed the dog. I'll leave as soon as I'm done. I deliberately avoided Lightning as he approached, not wanting to get tangled up with Shen Heng. Just as I stepped out the door, I suddenly remembered that Lightning needed his vaccinations tomorrow. I was about to turn back to remind them, when I saw Shen Heng taking the dog out to the lake on his own. Lightning was naturally terrified of water. Why was he taking him to the water's edge? I secretly followed them, only to see with my own eyes Shen Heng pretending to be careless. He shoved Lightning straight into the freezing lake. The lake water in April was bone-chillingly cold. Without a second thought, I dropped my things and jumped into the lake to save the dog. I tightly hugged the violently shivering Lightning. As soon as I got ashore, I clenched my fist and swung a punch right at the man in front of me. 4 years ago, you forced me to leave Anan, and now you're scheming against a dog. He raised his hand to strike back, but I grabbed his wrist in a vice grip. I didn't have time to argue with him. Lightning was clearly severely traumatized, so I hurriedly rushed him to the veterinary hospital. After making sure the dog was settled, soaking wet, and running a mild fever, I headed home alone. I ransacked my entire apartment but couldn't find any cold medicine, so I had to order some for delivery. The doorbell rang. I opened the door only to find Shu Anan. She reached out and felt my forehead, her tone laced with irritation. If you jumped into the lake, why didn't you find the property manager? Did you really have to jump in yourself and catch a cold just to be satisfied? I was already feeling awful and didn't have the energy to argue. The dog is yours. I saved him and yet you're annoyed. What kind of logic is that? She walked into my house uninvited. Noticed the unused pair of women's slippers in the shoe cabinet. Paused for a moment and hesitantly asked, Are these your girlfriends? I was too lazy to explain, which she took as a tacit admission. But seeing my miserable state right now, she couldn't bear to interrogate me any further. She just took out the cold medicine she had brought with her, stared me down, forcing me to take it right in front of her, then sat down next to me and said slowly, I've watched all the security footage from the villa. I couldn't help but let out a cold laugh, deliberately poking at her sore spot. Did President Shu come here to settle the score on behalf of her arranged fiancé? That engagement was entirely my mother's doing. I never agreed to marry Shen Heng. The truth about you being forced to leave me back then, I've investigated it all. As soon as she finished speaking, she suddenly leaned in close and bit me. Desperate to escape, I dialed Meng Yuwei's number. Sis, I've got a fever. Can you come take care of me? Hearing my intimate tone, Xuanan's face instantly turned sour. Seeing that I resolutely refused to look at her, she had no choice but to leave. As a result, she ran right into Meng Yue at the elevator. Meng Yue didn't pay any attention to Xuanan. She just kept her head down and walked straight ahead, muttering to herself, a fever again. He definitely kicked the blankets off in his sleep. Hearing those words, Xuanan felt an overwhelming sense of grievance. Back at the villa, Xuanan returned home and immediately started drinking alone to drown her sorrows. Madame Xu called, still maintaining her hardline stance, forcing her to marry Shen Heng. In exchange for the right to inherit the corporation. Back then, you used the inheritance to force me to break up with him. Don't even think about manipulating my marriage any further. And as for Shen Heng harming my dog, I absolutely won't let him get away with it. I lay on the sofa watching TV. The truth was laid bare before my eyes. The barrier between us was no longer just petty anger, but the complex power dynamics of the Xu family, a dictatorial and overbearing elder, and a scheming Shen Heng with unpredictable motives. Lightning still had to stay at the veterinary hospital for observation. In the future, should Xuanan and I continue to move forward? Or should we keep deliberately distancing ourselves from each other? I had absolutely no answer.